Okay, this is Financial Literacy, section 7.6. All right, your lecture, it's about stocks. And so I went ahead and wrote out a little bit of the first section. So you can pause the video if you want and go ahead and write this out. But stocks are a share of ownership in a company. So if you buy a share of stock, you are part owner of that company. Okay, it might be a very, very small percentage of the company, but you are still part owner. And sometimes you even get to vote on decisions that company will make. The more stock that you have, the more important your vote is. Purchasing stock, 7.6.1. So some vocab here. Stockholders are investors who buy stock. Very simple vocabulary. The market price is the price at which a stock sells. If you ever turn on a channel like Fox Business or CNBC or Bloomberg Television, you will see a scroll at the bottom of the screen, and those are just acronyms for companies and the current market price of a share of stock. So you may see Amazon go by or Apple or IBM or Walmart, and you'll see what their stock is selling for at that particular moment in time. So the total cost is the market price plus the commission. So let's look at example A. We're on page 302 in your book. All right, so let's see if I can get this in the screen. So Trent Vallow purchased 200 shares of stock from his broker at $24.50. The broker charged $123.51 commission. What's the total cost of the stocks? This is just a really simple calculation. All right, you're going to take that 200 shares. Each share cost $24.50. And then the broker gets a commission for selling you that stock. Just like a real estate broker is going to get a commission for selling a house. All right, and that commission in this case is $123.51. So that will be a total of $5,023.51. All right, our next section, 7.6.2, is called stock dividends. All right, so what are dividends? Well, the dividends are company profits paid to shareholders and that's usually quarterly. And that is also not guaranteed. The company doesn't have to pay dividends, but a lot of companies do. So if you own a share of stock, you get to participate in the profits. And every quarter, the company that you own, let's say Walmart, you might earn a little bit of money or a lot of money, depending on how many shares of stock that you have and what kind of profit they made. Preferred stock, so that's a particular type of stock. Is where dividend amounts are set when the stock is purchased. So you may pay more to get shares of preferred stock because you get a guaranteed rate of dividend, where if you have common stock, your dividends aren't guaranteed. But you may pay less per share for that common stock. So common stock has no set dividends. The company management, sorry I'm getting so messy. Company management decides the dividend amount. I'm working around a music stand here, and I don't have a place to put my arm. So that's why I got so messy. All right, and that's it. You might not get any dividends. All right, I own quite a bit of stock, and I get dividends actually every month instead of every quarter. So if you need to, go ahead and pause the video and we will work a couple of example problems from 7.6.2. All right, we are on page 303, so we're still in 7.6.2. Do example C. All right, so bring this thing into view. It's up at the top. It says Emily Van Tassel owns 600 shares of Brunis Imaging Company common stock with a par value of $100. So that's just the price, market price. Brunis Imaging declares a dividend of 3.7% on the par value to shareholders. How much in dividends will Emily receive? All right. So it's going to be 600 shares. Each of those shares is worth $100. And then it's 3.7%, so 0.037. So that's going to be $2,220. All right, so that's a nice little income. In addition to the price of the stock potentially going up, you get income along the way. All right, example D. Says Dome Petroleum preferred stock pays a quarterly dividend of $1.50 per share. If Sarah Keradick owns 800 shares of stock, what amount will she receive in dividends for the year? All right, so she has 800 shares. She receives a dividend of $1.50 per share per quarter. How many quarters are in a year? 4 quarters. So 800 times 150 times 4 is $4,800 for the year. Nice. Okay, the next section, 7.6.3, is called stock yields. So a yield is equal to the annual dividend so if it's paid quarterly, you have to convert it to annually, divided by the total cost of the stock times 100. Okay, so it's just a way of saying, okay, how how good a dividend are you getting? You know, what percentage of the stock cost are they paying out in dividends? And of course, you know, the higher the better. All right, so let's look at example E on page 303. So we're at the bottom of 303 here. It says, Vladin Kortik bought 600 shares of stock at $11.35. His broker charged $182.60 commission. So we have to include that into the cost of the stock, that commission. Stock pays quarterly dividend of 12 cents. What is the annual yield to the nearest tenth of a percent? All right, so the total dividends are going to be, you've got 600 shares. It pays 12 cents a share. And we have to convert it to annual, so 4 quarters times 4 quarters. So that's 288 simoleons. All right, the total cost of the stock, all right, it's 600 shares. And each share of stock was $11.35. But you have to add in the commission, which was $182.60. All right, so the total cost is $69.92.60. So the yield, or the dividend yield, is equal to the total dividends, 288, divided by the total cost, 69.92.60, times 100. And that is, to the nearest tenth, that's 4.1%. You know, is that good? I don't know. It actually seems pretty good to me. Okay. All right. So pause the video if you need to, and we will finish up this section in just a little bit. So finally, 7.6.4 is called stock sales. All right, so the net proceeds, just a little bit of vocab here. Net proceeds, that's going to be market price. So net proceeds means how much do you get when you sell the stock? And then you're going to subtract out the commission, because you have to pay a broker to sell it. Although there are discount brokers that don't cost very much. Plus, there could be some other charges that we may have to add in. So that's net proceeds. How much you're going to get when you sell the stock. Profit, everyone loves that. Sometimes it's a loss, though. It's equal to the net proceeds minus the total cost. All right, let's look at a couple examples here. First one is example G on page 304. Let's see, I'll get that into view. Says you, all right, the author didn't even bother to put a name. It's you. Bought 100 shares of Pendel preferred stock at $14.70. Commission charge was $54. You sold the same shares later at $21.45. The commission and other fees on the sale were $71. What was the profit or loss on the stock? All right, so let's get the proceeds. All right, so that's going to be, we sold it at $21.45. There were 100 shares. And then we have to subtract out the commission of 71 bucks. All right, so I did it a little different on my paper, so I'm going to go ahead. So we got 21.45 times 100 minus 71. All right, $2,074 is how much you got when you sold it. All right, what's the total cost of the stock? Well, you bought the stock at $14.70. It's 100 shares of it. And when you bought it, you have a commission that you have to add. All right, so that total cost is $54. Okay, so that's going to be 14.7 times 100 plus 54, $1,524. All right, so our profit is going to be $2,074 minus $1,524. All right. And that is 550 clams. Okay, let's finish this lecture out with one more example. I think this example may be at a loss, because definitely you can lose money with stocks as well. All right, so page 304, we have Jorge Venteria bought 300 shares of Silver Forge common stock at $41.80, which charged a commission of $243. He later sold the stock for $39.12. The commission and fees on the sale were $235. What was Jorge's profit or loss? All right. Well, Jorge's net proceeds. How much did he sell the stock for? Was $39.12. All right, how many shares? It was 300. And then he had to pay a commission just to sell the stuff, and that commission was $235. All right, so $39.12 times 300 plus 235 is $11,971. Total cost. All right. Bought the stock at $41.80. We're going to have a loss, aren't we? Sold it at less than he bought it happens every single day. Sometimes you just got to liquidate. All right, and then, excuse me, on this, oh, I made a mistake. You would have to subtract out, I apologize, the 235. Let's do that again. Because you don't get to add the commission in, do you? 39.12 plus, excuse me, 39.12 times 300 minus 235. That's 11,501. Okay, sorry about that. But we do add the commission into the cost. And that is, when they bought the stock, was $243. See, the reason you're subtracting out the commission is because you have to pay, and you don't get to keep that 39.12 times 300. You don't get to keep all of that. You have to pay the broker. And then when you buy it, you have to pay the broker there. So that's 4180 times 300 plus 243, which is 12,783. All right, so the profit is going to be proceeds 11,501 minus the cost 12,783. All right, and that is going to be, well, it looks like a $1,200 loss, right? 11,501 minus 12,783, negative 1,282. So that is a loss of $1,282. All right, so pause the video if you need to finish that up, and then I'll write down the homework for this section. Okay, the homework, it's also located in Microsoft Teams. It's on page 305. It's going to be 5 through 15 odd, 16 through 22 all, 23 through 27 odd, 28 and 29, 35 through 39 odd. These should go pretty fast. All right, it's a total of 21 problems. Looks like a lot, but they should go pretty fast. All right, so that'll do it for today's video, and I will talk to you about section 7.7 tomorrow.